If your pie crust can't hold all the juice like this, you need this recipe. Welcome to Baking Essentials 101. This week was all about pies, and I'm about to give you the best pie crust recipe along with an amazing pie recipe. Now, if you have to make multiple batches like I do, using a food processor is the easiest way to go. Add all of your dry ingredients and then add in your cubed butter. You're gonna let this go and then slowly add in your ice cold water, 1 tablespoon at a time. I did this in real time so that you could see once the pie crust starts to come together, that's when you want to stop adding in water. Typically, that's around 5 to 6, 7 tablespoons of water. I made 2 batches of pie crust. The first time I used 6 tablespoons of water, and the second time I used 5 tablespoons of water. So it's important to make sure you're watching as the food processor is processing the dough. Watch it to make sure that once the dough comes together, you stop adding water. Now, once your dough is ready, lay out some plastic wrap because we're going to need to refrigerate our dough. You don't need to knead it or anything. You're just going to form it into a disc, and then you're going to place this in a refrigerator and let it chill for at least 30 minutes to an hour. Now, you can use this pie crust for a sweet or a savory pie, but I chose to make one of my favorites, which is a peach blueberry pie. Now, this is a really easy pie filling recipe. You're basically dumping everything in a bowl and mixing it together. And don't worry, if you're seeing this video, that means I've already posted this recipe to my blog, so you can find all of the ingredients that I use and the full recipe on my blog. Once your filling is all mixed together, set it aside and then flour your surface because we're going to roll out our pie crust. Making sure that you use the tips from our lesson and starting in the center and rolling out back and forth, turning as needed. Once you have your dough all rolled out, you're going to use your rolling pin to kind of help lift your dough into your pie plate. Then you can use your hands and your fingers to help mold the pie dough into the pie plate. Using a knife, cut off all of the excess pie crust around the edges of your pie. And don't throw out that dough because we're going to use it to place on top of our pie. Then you'll want to grab a fork and poke holes along the bottom and sides of your pie crust. This will help prevent any air pockets and prevent your pie crust from bubbling up on the bottom. The next steps are really easy. All you got to do is add in your filling to your pie crust. And remember that excess dough that we trimmed away from the edges of our pie? We're going to roll that out and we're going to use it to cover the top of our pie. Now, you could get fancy here and do a lattice design, but I chose to keep it simple. I just wanted to make sure that I cut a little opening at the top for ventilation, and then I hit it with a light egg wash. Now, this is optional, but I also decided to top it with some coarse sparkling sugar. I baked this on 375 for about an hour, and I could see that the crust was a nice golden brown color.